Welcome back to the Freedom Network, everybody. We're so glad that you're here. Joined us today for yet another exciting show. We're gonna continue, as I promised, with our "Do As I Say, Not As I Do," because last week we were not able to get to Al Gore, and we have to be able to get to Al Gore. Welcome to Freedom Network. Make sure you keep on sending those emails, timorgary@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at the Freedom Network. Get all that information right up on the screen for you, so you don't have to go run and grab any pens just yet. Don't worry about it. But we're talking about all kinds of stuff. We talked about last week gay marriage, and we talked about doing as I say, not as I do. We covered a lot of ground with our good friend, Mr. John Kerry, and his yachts and taxes and that kind of stuff. We touched on the media and how the media doesn't pick up on some of this stuff, and we'll do that again. I did want to take a few moments to just talk to you about an interesting topic that has come up with the gay marriage, and I'm sure by the time this is aired, we have some indication as to where that's headed, or at least if they're going to hear it and all that kind of stuff. And we touched about the social issues and the relationship between government and social issues and the Bible and all that stuff. We got off on a tangent. I don't want to go back there. But I think it's important that we understand that as you're watching the news, as you're watching the politicians and what they're bringing forward, bills that they're trying to pass and legislation and amendments and riders on bills and all that stuff. And you have to look at this stuff, folks. When you do look at this, let's look at the social component percentage. It's big. It's big. The social component is big. Why? Why? You don't legislate my morals. It's not something that you need to do, right? You don't have to legislate everything that I do. It was a huge victory in New York when the court struck down the "you can't have a big soda" law. What kind of a stupid thing is that? Talk about a guy that deserves to get railroaded out of office. I mean, so the government's now going to tell me if I can have a big soda? I think it was CVS Pharmacy. They have you now taking questionnaires about your health before you're going to go on their insurance. You're going to see more of this with Obamacare. Oh, yes, you are. Folks, we're in a big crossroads of America as we sit here at the headquarters of the Freedom Network. It's a big crossroads. It's time to pick sides. It's time. No more of this moderate, middle of the road, bipartisan, gets you nowhere. It's time to take a stand. It's time to make a difference for you. You need to make a difference. And the beauty of America is that you can. You got to get up off your butt. You got to get educated. Do not be a low information voter. Be a high information voter. And then take your feet and walk yourself to the voting booth. We talked at the end of the show last week. We'll touch on it again this week. We'll touch on it now. We'll touch on it at the end, I'm sure. But you've got to be involved. You've got to know what's going on. Do you have to know every senator and everyone's name and who represents this and what? No. But when it comes time, to me, a low information voter should be somebody that submerges themselves in politics for no less than 30 to 60 days before an election and objectively seeks out information and learns what they're voting on. To me, that's a low information voter. A high information voter is somebody that's constantly into politics, 12 months a year. Doesn't matter. It's just how it goes. We have people that are worried about. I mean, did you see the Obama phone videos? I'm sure you have. This is a problem. We're in a we're a bunch of self-entitled ninnies in this country that complain constantly and do nothing about it. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? Are you going to talk to your friends? Are you going to vote? Are you going to mobilize other people to vote? Are you going to get people involved to at least a low information? Are you going to be involved at least to what I would consider low information? What are they teaching kids in school? What are we talking about in school? Why doesn't my kid come home and say, hey, Dad, America's a great country? Why? He hasn't. He knows it because he's my son, but he hasn't. Why? Why are we not getting that to be great, if you want to be great, you got to believe in yourself, okay? You're a fighter, all right? Something I like to watch. I like to watch boxing. I like to watch UFC fights. I don't know if you guys get into that at all. But to me, it's fun sport. You know what I mean? It's man's sport, I guess. But I like to watch it. And one thing that those guys will tell you, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to succeed. So why can't we believe in ourselves? Why can't we say America is good? Why can't we say America is great? Why can't we boast and scream from the mountaintops about the good and about how wonderful a country this is and about how you can come here and you can pray, you can belong to any temple, church, synagogue, a mosque, whatever. You can pray to who you want. You should be able to marry who you want. You can live your life as you wish. You can strive to be an executive and a billionaire. You can strive to enjoy Mother Nature and live in a trailer in the Midwest with no neighbors for 50 miles. Who's worth more? They're both worth the same. If you answered the question yes or no, that's the problem. Money doesn't define greatness. Lack of or having it. There's plenty of stupid rich people and very intelligent poor people. This is America. This is the land of the free. This is where you go and you vote. This is where you can make your dreams come true. This is where you can feed your family. This is where you can enjoy life and not have to worry about rebels coming over the hills, about a government that's telling you how big your soda can be. Oh, wait a minute. We do have to worry about that. We are slipping so fast down the slippery slope that I don't know how to even stop us, except to plead with people, one by one, whether it's on television or whether it's at a dinner party, to get informed and get out there and vote. Make it happen. You can change the country. You can change the country. If everybody would adopt that attitude, we would have such a checks and balances. I propose that we vote them all out. Every single one, and there's a lot that I like in there. I'm going to be honest with you. There are people that are good that are in office right now. There are people that are promoting change and that are trying to do good things. The problem is there's not enough of them. And the problem is there's not going to be enough of them in the current climate with the media basically in control of our elections and a left-wing agenda. We're not going to have it. We may get a majority of conservatives, but they're still missing the point. Maybe there's one or two. Rand Paul. But you know what? If he's got to go with him, I hate to say it, if he's got to go, we need to have an electoral revolution in this country. We need to go to the polls en masse, and we need to tell the people that are there, goodbye. All of them. A glorious day for America. When we swear in 100% new representation. Believe me, they'll get the picture. The time has come in America for us to stand up. The time has come for you to stand up and to make it happen. I'm begging, get out there and inform yourself as to what's going on. Because if you don't, you're destined to ensure the destruction of the greatest social experiment on the face of the planet, the United States of America. Okay. Whew. We'll come back down now. We're going to talk about do as I say, not as I do. We're going to talk about Al Gore and his world of that. It was easy. Again, some of this stuff, you know, they say pick low-hanging fruit, it's easy, right? This is easy. I mean, this is a show that just prepares itself. Al Gore's worth, from what I could find, about $300 million. He consistently supported tax increases for you. He says he understands the, quote, common man. Common man was big in his quotes. Really? He supports the common man. He does. We'll have to take a look at that. We're going to have to take a look at that, folks. Senator to vice president to the keeper of the earth. And he invented the internet. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. I could sit back in this chair and go way back like this and try to dream stuff up to make a guy like this look bad, and I couldn't come up with a tenth of the stuff that's reality. With Al Gore's sale of his cable television channel, Forbes is estimating that the former vice president's net worth now stands at about $300 million. That's $70 million more than Forbes' estimate the net worth of former Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney. $70 million more. Were there stories about him and being rich, and do we ever hear anything about him and his money and in any negative way? Only rich Republicans get vilified in the media. They'll vilify Donald Trump. He's easy, though. He's easy to make fun of, but still, he's got a right to his opinion. If you're rich and you're conservative, you're in the crosshairs, baby. But you can be worth this, or John Kerry. We talked about him last week. Near the billion mark. So Gore's had a television station. Now, I'm going to try not to get too worked up, but I probably will get somewhat worked up. Current TV sold to news organization Al Jazeera. January 2nd, it was sold for about $500 million. Of that, Gore has 20% ownership, which I believe is the majority of this media company, which he co-founded. Give him about $100 million, according to Forbes. $100 million. Wow. So the Washington Post, written before the current TV sale, indicated that Gore had already estimated his net worth at over $100 million. So again, these guys are very evasive. It's tough to find out what they're really worth. Only, Mitt Romney has to release every bit of money he's made from every corner and explain exactly what he's paid in taxes. Only Mitt Romney needs to do that. Nobody else does. Anybody with an R next to your name, actually. Get in line. Come on, get in line. How'd you make your money? You didn't make it on your own, according to Obama. Nobody made anything on their own, according to Obama. No. No sirree, Bob. Nope. Since leaving elected office with assets a couple $1 million, Gore has joined the board of directors at Apple, become a senior advisor to Google, co-founded a UK-based Generation Investment Management. Wait a minute, is that something like a Bain Capital thing? Investment management? No, maybe a little different, I guess, but wow, seems kind of familiar. Become a partner at the Silicon Valley venture capital firm Kleiner, Perkins, Caulfield, and Byers. Well, that sounds a lot like a Bain Capital company. He invested $35 million in hedge funds and in private partnerships and co-founded Current Media, and this is all from CBS. That's right from CBS. So I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to get a little upset, Mr. Former Vice President. that wants everybody to do everything that's good for the common man. How good is it for the common man for you to sell out your country to a, let's say, radical type of a news organization, certainly not friendly to American interests? Al Jazeera, while many on the left think is a wonderful network, I went online and watched it. I watched it for probably a total of 3 to 5 hours of it in bits and pieces. It's a completely anti-American network. It's a complete farce that the former Vice President of the United States of America, former Senator for the United States of America, is going to take and sell out so he can make more money? I'm having a tough time. Aren't the Democrats not about just money? Aren't they about doing the right thing? Aren't they about that? Can they? Why can they dance on both sides of the fence? Why won't anyone call any of them on it? Why you have to tune only to the Freedom Network to get it really in front of you is beyond me. Al Jazeera? This is who he goes to? You're telling me nobody else was interested? Did it have something to do with timing and taxes, maybe? Why don't you look that up? You look that up. Every week I try to give you some kind of homework assignment. Look it up. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, but you'll find out. Do we have a clue here as to the fact that the world watches what you do as we watch other countries? And they see these things, this multinational BS that's driving me to want to turn the desk over here. They're not Al Jazeera. He's going to sell it to Al Jazeera. It is infuriating to me that happened. Where was his buddy, Mr. Obama? He couldn't help him save his TV network? You know what? You know why he had a failing TV network in the first place is because it espoused left-wing ideas. And when you do that, you go out of business. We've talked about that. Radio, TV, commentary, op-ed, all that slanting to the right that you see is because those are for-profit businesses. They don't just get bailouts. They don't just get free money, nothing like that. No, they're for-profit businesses. So when your only reliance, look at Rush Limbaugh. Look at him. I mean, he's lost a lot of weight. There's not as much to look at anymore. But look at him. Here's a guy that they estimate, and the only reason it's an estimate is because they don't know if it's more or not because of duplicity, at about 25 million listeners, a week. 25 million a week. One of the most successful. He's made millions off of talking about right-wing ideas. You can't and sometimes get an ad on his show. There can be a waiting list at times to get an ad on his show. What about Bernie Ward? You ever hear of him? He was their big guy. He was a big guy. He might even still be on the air, but you can't get him in Boston. In Boston? You can't get him? You must be able to get him somewhere in Boston. We're the bastion of left-wing hell here. You got to be able to get it. So, what's interesting is that at the end of the day, here we sit with a former vice president invested in a media company among all kinds of venture capital. I mean, venture capital, I got to underline this. Venture capital, and this is the first time I've ever seen the words Al Gore and venture capital in the same sentence together where he wasn't attacking venture capital. But it turns out that that's what he invests in. The Post indicated that Gore had gained much of his wealth by returning to his longtime passion, clean energy. He benefits from his resume, friends in the investment world in Washington, and he's got a portfolio that aligns with the Obama administration's ongoing push to spend billions of stimulus dollars on alternative energy. Billions! We're going to spend billions on alternative energy. It's going to be great. Okay, 14 green tech firms in which Gore invested received or directly benefited from more than $2.5 billion in loans, grants, and tax break, part of President Barack Obama's historic push to seed a U.S. renewable energy industry with public money. Did you get that? Why did it go to his firms and firms that he invested in? Why? I've told you before, I'm all for this. Let's bang it out, man. Let's like totally bang this out. I'm for it. Windmills up and down the highways. Wind farms out on the Sound. Sorry, Kennedys. Sorry. There's another one. Do as I say, not as I do. Ho ho! You got to have all this alternative energy. Well, let's get it out there then. Let's do it. Let's not invest in companies that are going bankrupt because you like the guys, or because they donate to you, or because they're Democrats, or this. It's enough. It's enough already. Get mad about it. You want to put up windmills from here all the way to California? I'm cool. I'll spend the money on it. Do it. Just do it. Get a company that does them. Do it. Get them tied into the grid. Pay out of it to maintain them. And move on. Issue done. Take advantage of the waves. They have machines that they can put into the water, that as the waves come in, it pushes down. The waves go out, it comes back up. This creates motion. Anything that creates motion can create electricity. If we want to be energy independent, we can be. But we're not going to do it by investing in Solyndra. Romney faced criticism in the election for his wealth, even that he may be too rich to be president, and that his wealth makes him unable to connect with voters. That's the gist of what I was getting. That actually came right out of Market Watch, too. So John Kerry can be worth $1 billion and connect with voters. Al Gore can connect with voters, being worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Barack Obama made like $1 million last year himself, him and his wife, I believe. They can. Only them, though. Only the left-wingers. Only the left-wingers. Nobody else. Okay, whether it's his remarks about, and I'm going to give this to you. This came right from Market Watch. Whether it's his remarks about also being unemployed or knowing a lot of NASCAR team owners or suggesting that the best way to get financing for a new business is to borrow from your parents, Romney has repeatedly shown that he is insulated from the normal stresses of earning a living and making ends meet. Okay, that may be true. That may be true. A rich Republican's just as out of touch as a rich Democrat. Right? But that's the point. They're out of touch. So when the media wants to slant it and say, well, this guy's out of touch, why? Why is Romney so out of touch? And why? Why wasn't the wealth of the Democrats brought up as a issue? The Romney he's the 1%. Kerry is the 1%, just so you know. John Kerry is the 1%, legit. Okay? Legitimate. This guy and his wife are worth a you-know-what ton of money. Let me see what else we got here. Let's see. The bottom of the heap has always resented the top of the heap, even in America. But such rising inequalities means that previously prosperous middle classes are starting to question whether the elite, like Mr. Romney, offers a chance for them to share in the same American dream as they do. Because back, you weren't evil if you were rich. You've gone from, to be noble in America, according to the media and many of our elected officials, you must be poor. You're poor. You're noble when you're poor. When you're unsuccessful, you're knowledgeable, you're savvy, and these kinds of things. Give me a break. You know what's noble? What's noble is working 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 hours a week. It's your own business. Thumping and grinding and thumping and grinding, putting your own neck out there, feeding other people's families before your own via paychecks that you give them before you can take your own, and kicking and screaming drag your company up to a mega conglomerate that's worth $10 billion. That's noble. Sitting at home collecting a damn welfare check, that ain't noble. Let's see. Al Jazeera America, the network's new name, will be headquartered in New York and will reach 40 million homes. The network's success in America remains to be seen. The Columbia Journalism Review's Vivian Salama wrote with some current TV personalities like Elliot Spitzer, Gavin Newsom, and Jennifer Granholm, I hope I said your name right, opting out. Time Warner is dropping current TV, only to later say it would reconsider airing Al Jazeera America. There have been others that have decided to not air this as well. And in fairness to them, there's a couple there up in the air. But Time Warner has been struggling with this. And let's just face it, they're no friend of the right. But they love America, I guess. Because this is BS, man. That's what it is. Start up a television company, and then now we're going to have Al Jazeera News in here. And you know what? Yeah, does that make me crazy? Do you think that makes me crazy? You think it makes me crazy? You think it makes me closed-minded? I refuse to understand anybody else until they take the time to understand me. That's my new motto. I'm not going to understand anybody else. I'm not understanding any other countries, cultures, nothing, until they take the damn time to understand me and my culture. Is that too much to ask? Why does America always have to be on the other side? Why is it America that has to understand? We have to think about this. We have to sit at the table. We have to understand and feel their pain. Baloney! Let them feel my pain. How's that? Al Gore has spoken. The world must embrace a carbon-neutral lifestyle. To do otherwise, he says, will result in catastrophic results. Humanity is sitting on a ticking time bomb. An Inconvenient Truth, which was his movie that, of course, they had to give him an award for. We have just 10 years to avert a major catastrophe that could send our entire planet into a tailspin. Homework assignment number 2, and I'll try not to reveal it in here. Go look up when that was done, will you please? Go look up when Inconvenient Truth came out. Add the years, see when it will be, and you tell me if you think that we're done in a few years. Graciously, Gore tells consumers how to change their lives to curb their carbon-gobbling ways. Switch to compact fluorescent light bulbs. Use clotheslines. Drive a hybrid. Hang on. You think Al Gore's clothing is sitting on a damn clothesline somewhere? Oh boy. Drive a hybrid. Use renewable energy. Dramatically cut back on consumption. Better still, responsible global citizens can follow Gore's example because, as he repeatedly points out in his speeches, he lives a carbon-neutral lifestyle. If Al Gore is the example that we need to follow when it comes to our carbon footprints, then maybe we will be gone in a few years. For someone who says the sky is falling, he does very little. Very little, all right? He says he recycles and he drives a hybrid, and he claims that he uses renewable energy credits to offset the pollution he produces when using a private jet to promote his film. In reality, Paramount Classics, the film's distributor, pays for this. So credits? So is he telling me that it's okay if I walk out and take, and I go cut down 100 trees, but I'll switch light bulbs? Is that what do I have a credit? How does that even work? Who assigns these credits? How do you get a credit? Can I get a couple credits? Do you buy them? Are they good deeds? Public records reveal that as Al Gore lectures Americans on excessive consumption, he and his wife Tipper live in 2 properties, 10,000 square foot, 20-room, 8-bathroom home in Nashville, and a 4,000 square foot home in Arlington, Virginia. He has a 3rd home in Tennessee also. For someone that's rallying the planet, boy, he does require not too much of himself, does he? The troubling matter of his energy use. Let's look at that. Washington, D.C. area, utility companies offer wind energy as an alternative to traditional energy. In Nashville, similar programs exist. Utility customers must simply pay a few extra per kilowatt hour, and they can continue living their carbon-neutral lifestyles knowing that they are supporting wind energy. Plenty of businesses and institutions have signed up. Even the Bush administration used green energy for some federal office buildings, and thousands of local area residents are as well. But now, if we look at the public records, there's absolutely no evidence that Al Gore has signed up to use any green energy in either of his large residences. When they contacted him, okay, Gore's office confirmed as much, meaning they don't use any, but said that they were looking into making the switch at both homes. That's an inconvenient truth. That's like Kerry and his damn boat. Oh, I'll pay the taxes now that you found out. Oh, I'm the guy running around telling you that you need to go drive a hybrid. You need to hang your clothes on a line. You need to shut your lights off. Maybe we'll do some rolling blackouts like they did in California. That worked really well. There's all kinds of stuff that you're going to do to lessen your carbon footprint. But me, I'm not going to do nothing. But if you catch me, then I'll do something about it. Come on. Come on. Gore is not alone. We get Democratic National Committee Chairman Howard Dean, former. Global warming is happening and it threatens our very existence. Okay? Gore is trying to move people to act, he says. Yet astoundingly, Gore's persuasive powers have very little effect convincing anybody on the right. Never mind, he can't even get the left to buy into this. The DNC has not signed up to pay additional 2 pennies a kilowatt hour to go green. Neither are the Republicans. All right, Gore has held these apocalyptic views about the environment for some time. So why then didn't Gore dump his family's large stock holdings? Why didn't he dump them in Occidental and in petroleum? As an executor of a family's trust, over the years, Gore has controlled hundreds of thousands of dollars in Oxy stock. Oxy has been vilified in controversy over oil drilling in ecological sensitive areas. Did you comprehend what I just said? Did it sink in? Living carbon neutral apparently doesn't mean living oil stock free, nor does it necessarily mean giving up mining royalties either. Yes. We may be sitting on this ticking time bomb, but Gore's got a home that we spoke about before. One of these homes was sitting on a zinc mine. He received about $20 a year in royalties from Pasminco Zinc, which operates a zinc concession on his property. Tennessee cited the company for adding large quantities of barium, iron, and zinc to the nearby Caney Fork River. And he was getting royalties from this, flying around on jets, telling you to drive a hybrid while he's burning how many miles a gallon of jet fuel? The mine did close. It closed a long time ago. Okay, it closed about 10 years ago. But until then, he was getting royalties from it. It's a question of credibility, folks. If he genuinely believes what he's saying, then why doesn't he change his life? We're going to go over some more. Let's look at Al Gore. Here's Al Gore. Tim's got some stuff together. We're going to check out Mr. Gore talking about just stuff. Just watch him.
Well, the cable network Al Jazeera has closed a deal with liberal-leaning Current TV. And the deal is a lucrative one for Al Gore, with reports he'll be getting $125 million from the sale. Al Jazeera, of course, is financed by the government of Qatar and has been criticized for biased reporting, which reflects the foreign policy of the Qatari government. A former employee is now speaking out about such selective reporting. Longtime Berlin correspondent Aktham Suleiman recently resigned and said in an interview with DW, quote, "The problem is that the organization lacks internal structures that would immunize it against what presumably an attempt by the owner or the editors to interfere politically in things that should have been handled in a journalistic manner." Well, as we mentioned, Al Jazeera is fueled by Qatar, an oil-rich country. Interesting that they're now paying off Al Gore, whose legacy is his dedication to fight global warming. One of his notable accomplishments in this mission is his Nobel Peace Prize winning movie entitled An Inconvenient Truth.
We have to act together to solve this global crisis. Our ability to live is what is at stake.
But perhaps the real inconvenient truth is how much Gore has profited from his anti-oil agenda. He's made six figures from various speeches about global warming, but he's been criticized for not practicing what he preaches. The multimillionaire has multiple homes that guzzle mega amounts of electricity. So perhaps it's true to say Gore is focused on the green, maybe not so much when it comes to energy.
He betrayed this country. He played on our fears.
The world is heating up fast, and we have ourselves to blame.
Global warming is real, and we humans are almost certainly the cause.
I worry. My mom worries. The water might rise and it might flood the whole town.
We won't be able to survive for long.
That won't affect me.
What are you most worried will happen?
We'll all die.
Are there some people who say this isn't true?
Yes. Yes.
Might they be right?
No.
How do you know they're not right?
Well, because the earth is getting hotter.
Where do you learn this?
I saw the Al Gore video.
And the Oscar goes to An Inconvenient Truth. Sea level worldwide would go up 20 feet.
Yeah, maybe like the height of this building. We'll probably just like drown and we'll die.
This is what would happen to the sea level in Florida. This is what would happen to San Francisco Bay. A new scientific study shows that for the first time they're finding polar bears that have actually drowned.
The ice melts from the earth being too hot, and it whooshes over and it goes down into the sea. I'm worried because it might happen here, and most of us will die.
Why should Democrats, looking at the Democratic nomination, the process, support you?
I took the initiative in creating the internet. I took the initiative in moving forward a whole range of initiatives that have proven to be important to our country's economic growth and environmental protection, improvements in our educational system.
Is the legislation that we are discussing here today, is that something that you are going to personally benefit from?
Congresswoman, if you believe that the reason I have been working on this issue for 30 years is because of greed, you don't know me.
No, sir, I'm not making accusations. I'm asking questions that have been asked of me and individuals, constituents that were seeking a point of clarity. So I am asking
I understand exactly what you're doing, Congresswoman. Everybody here does. I've been willing to put my money where my mouth is. Do you think there's something wrong with being active in business in this country?
I am simply asking for clarification.
I'm proud of
the
it.
Relationship.
I'm proud of it.
It's my understanding that back in 1997, when you were vice president, Enron's CEO, Ken Lay, was involved in discussions with you at the White House about helping develop this type of policy, this trading scheme. And is that accurate? Is it inaccurate? It's been reported.
I don't know, but I met with Ken Lay, as lots of people did, before anybody knew that he was a crook.
Right, and clearly you can see why so many of us are concerned about this type of cap-and-trade energy tax that would be literally turning over this country's energy economy.
I didn't know him well enough to call him Kenny Boy.
Well, but you knew him well enough to help devise this trading scheme, and obviously we know what Enron and these big guys on Wall Street like Goldman Sachs, and I know you've got interest with Goldman Sachs.
No.
These people, well, that's been reported. Is that not accurate?
No, I wish I did.
With executives from you're partnered in companies with executives from Goldman Sachs. Well, with executives from you're partnered in companies with executives from Goldman Sachs. Well, if you're not, either way, Enron clearly had an interest in doing this when they were around. We saw what they did. And when you see the types of people involved in wanting to set up this kind of scheme, you can see why so many of us are concerned about turning our energy economy over to a scheme that was devised by companies like Enron and some of these Wall Street firms that have wrecked our financial economy.
I took the initiative in creating the Internet.
You imagine that we live in an age of reason. And the global warming alarm is dressed up as science, but it's not science. It's propaganda.
There's no direct evidence which links 20th century global warming to anthropogenic greenhouse gases.
We're just being told lies. That's what it comes down to.
You can't say that CO2 will drive climate. It certainly never did in the past.
If the CO2 increases in the atmosphere as a greenhouse gas, then the temperature will go up. But the ice core record shows exactly the opposite. So the fundamental assumption, the most fundamental assumption of the whole theory of climate change due to humans is shown to be wrong.
The whole thing stinks.
Many senior climate scientists say the actual scientific basis for the theory is crumbling.
There were periods, for example, in Earth's history when we had 3 times as much CO2 as we have today, or periods when we had 10 times as much CO2 as we have today. And if CO2 has a large effect on climate, then you should see it in the temperature reconstruction.
If we look at climate through the geological time frame, we would never suspect CO2 as a major climate driver.
None of the major climate changes in the last 1,000 years can be explained by CO2.
You can't say that CO2 will drive climate. It certainly never did in the past.
I've often heard it said that there is a consensus of thousands of scientists on the global warming issue and that humans are causing a catastrophic change to the climate system.
Congressman, you began by denying that there is a consensus on the science. There is a consensus on the science. Man-made global warming pollution causes global warming. That's not a cutesy issue. It's not an open issue.
It's your opinion. Obviously, you've stated it many times. Would you talk to the cost?
Opinion of the global scientific community.
Well, I am one scientist, and there are many that simply think that is not true.
Do you guys ever do anything but propaganda?
Isn't it your business also?
Would you even know the truth if you saw it?
Oh yes.
I don't believe you would.
No more lies! No more lies! Stop cap and trade! Stop cap and trade!
You're selling out American sovereignty and you're a traitor. You're a traitor, sir. You're a traitor to America.
As Vice President, you took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. You're selling out American sovereignty and you're a traitor.
Your carbon tax is meant to enslave America. We know it.
We don't want your global governance.
We don't want your global governance. We don't want your carbon tax. You're a traitor.
Mars has also been experiencing a global warming.
We're not doing press here. Just photo op.
Since man can't be a factor on the planet Mars, do you think that Mars is global warming?
Thank you.
This is from the best liar on the face of the planet, the biggest con man on the planet Earth, Mr. Al Gore.
Thank you. Goodbye.
The CCX, the carbon exchange, the Maurice Strong. Mr. Gore, you're a traitor to this nation and you know it. You are a traitor and you are subject under the penalty and crimes that are under the treason clause.
Mr. Gore, what's the carbon footprint of your 20-room mansion?
New World Order scumbag!
What's the carbon footprint of your jet,
New World Order scumbag!
What's the carbon footprint of your
Hypocrites!
Mr. Gore, we know about your New World Order eugenics program. Well, what do you think about that? Everything you guys discussed at the Club of Rome and Bilderberg, population control.
Thank you very much.
What do you think of Ted Turner's? Ted Turner's reduction of the population by 95%. We know this global warming thing is a hoax. You want a carbon credit? Carbon taxes? That's a tax on life, sir. Respond, you coward!
The IPCC isn't really a bunch of scientists, a bunch of UN globalists. Are you guys looking into this stuff? Are you aware that he won't debate? Are you guys allowed to cover things like this or not? Would your bosses let you tell the real story about real Americans out here?
Sir, could you comment on the email, the documents that were
revealed or hacked on ClimateGate says that the research is a fraud and it's all manipulated. Can you give a comment? Can you give me a comment, sir? It's fraud.
New World Order, eugenics operation. Don't touch me. This is a eugenics operation. This is what they're trying to sue Al Gore. Look it up. This is a eugenics program. This is New World Order.
Can I give you that, Mr. Gore? It's just science that shows that 31,000 scientists are speaking out against your eugenics global agenda, sir. The New World Order will fail, and we realize that this is against our sovereignty. I have a First Amendment right. You do not need to assault me, sir. I am leaving. I am leaving. You do not need to assault me, sir. I have a First Amendment right. This man wants to create a centralized global government. 31,000 scientists.
Any comments on ClimateGate? The emails that prove it's a scam, it's a farce. Global warming is a joke. Any comment? Comment on ClimateGate? ClimateGate, First Amendment rights here. ClimateGate, ClimateGate, research ClimateGate. This guy's a fraud. It's a scam. They are trying to institute a global government through a carbon tax. This guy's working on a carbon tax. That's all it is. It's global government. There are 30,000 scientists trying to sue this guy. John Coleman, the founder of the Weather Channel, is suing this bum. You're all in line for this bum. It's a global government.
Good stuff. There's your man, Mr. Gore. He got an Oscar for The Inconvenient Truth. But you know what? It's interesting. Tennessee Center for Policy Research, an independent, nonprofit, nonpartisan research organization committed to achieving a free and more prosperous Tennessee through free market solution, issued a press release late Monday. And this was way back when he won this. Last night, Al Gore's global warming documentary, An Inconvenient Truth, collected an Oscar for Best Documentary Features, but as the Tennessee Center for Policy researchers found that Gore deserves a gold statue for hypocrisy. This was 07. Gore's mansion, 20-room, 8-bathroom, located in the posh Belle Meade area of Nashville, consumes more electricity every month than the average American household uses in an entire year. Okay, hit the pause button. So now, you're flying around on all these jets. You're buying credits somehow. I don't quite, that somebody's got to explain to me. Your clothes are hanging out on a line, I guess, and that makes it so you can fly around in a jet. It's very confusing. And I'm not stupid, but I'm very confused. So now what happens is that in your home, you use as much energy as I do in a year in a month. So you're using 12 times the amount of average energy. You're flying around all over the place. You're making movies, which I'm sure has got some detrimental thing to the environment because it might be enjoyable to somebody else. You're doing a lot of stuff, and you're offsetting it. How? You pay for it? How do you pay for it? You have money. Oh, where'd you get the money? Oh, I invested in firms like Bain Capital. He did not, okay, but he did in investment groups that are like Bain Capital. I invested in those, and I opened up a TV station. I sold it to Al Jazeera. I made a ton of money from that, man. And yeah, it was really a good deal. You know, they were willing to pay. I think someone, when you do your homework, you'll find was willing to pay him more, but there was a timing issue, and that would have put him into a different tax thing. So Al Gore doesn't want to pay any more taxes. You can pay plenty of taxes, but he doesn't want to pay them. 12 times the amount that I use.